Do you need to change your outlook on depression? Most do. When I changed my outlook, it changed my life. Stick around for the 4 things that I do. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Arlene and I live with bipolar 2, which means I spend most of my time living successfully within my bylaws while fighting against depression. If you haven't watched my hub video, I strongly encourage you to. I think quite differently, so it'll catch you up and it'll fill in the blanks. Number 1, I worked on the only opinion that matters, mine, and not the distorted version that comes along with depression or trauma. It's important to work with your sane mind for the insane times. Now, the following 3 examples is me doing exactly that, working on the only opinion that matters. Number 2, I quit seeing myself as defective. This helped me to quit hating on myself. And it's not an easy task. When you do a behavior long enough, the behavior becomes invisible, thus making it super hard to see what you're doing. But less hating means more energy putting towards being gentle, more reasonable with myself. Depression is exhausting without the self-loathing and the character bashing session. I truly believe that when you hate yourself less, you treat yourself better. 3, I took the time to learn about depression's patterns of behavior. This was a hard one because whenever I tried to talk to someone that was over my pay grade about breaking down depression so it was a bit more user-friendly for me, I was met with this condescending statement, well, we all experience depression differently. This statement bugs the hell out of me because it shuts a person down. So regardless of the norm, I started breaking down depression my way. There is a pattern that we all experience. I do not believe that we all experience depression differently, regardless of who says it. If we all experience it differently, then why the hell do we all end up in the same places? Depression experiences us differently, not the other way around. Let me explain. Depression behaves the same in all of us. Just the ammunition it uses against you is different than mine. It takes your life and weaponizes it to use it against you, to destroy you. Why? I don't fucking know. But I do know that for 40 years of my life, while I've been fighting depression, depression's methods of torture have not changed. It still uses my past, my present, and my future against me in very specific ways. Why was it so important for me to break it down? Because at this time, my bipolar 2 is not curable. This means I am guaranteed to revisit my depression and its many levels again and again. Bipolar 2 spends most of their time in the bylaws fighting against depression. It sucks, but it is my reality. And it is because of this reality that I was determined to live my best life regardless of my circumstances. Living in the vast statement of depression was not going to give me a fighting chance. I needed to break it down to realistic encounters that I could work with or at least understand. First, there's functioning and less functioning levels of depression. Now, this is exactly as it sounds. Functioning and less functioning levels of depression. Sometimes you function all the way down to hardly functioning at all. Dense depression. This is the place that haunts you for your life. It brings to life all the things that shame you, hurt you, confuse you, negative things that you think about yourself or that you've heard from others, things that you have buried because they hurt. All things come to life here. Then you're tortured by them. Here, sanity meets insanity. You feel everything until you feel nothing at all. The vortex. Now, this is where dense depression and suicidal ideation mix. This is the place that hunts you for your life. And it will hunt you until it gets you, or until you can get the help you need to get out of there. I'm hoping that once you understand the consequences of existing in this place too long, that you will understand the urgency of getting help and getting out quickly. This place's only goal is to destroy you. If you don't know what a doppelganger is, it is a complete double of a living person. Unlike a twin, who is a look-alike, a doppelganger is the exact blueprint of yourself. Here, your chemically crazed doppelganger has a complete blueprint of you. It knows everything that you have in your head, and it manipulates it to fulfill its goal, which is, again, to destroy you. It takes small facts about your life and who you are, and then it distorts it into nothing more than lies and fiction. But because you can point to these small facts of truth, it can keep you believing that your thoughts are actual sane thoughts, rational thoughts, well-processed thoughts, and conscious conclusions when they're not. Here, sanity is killed by insanity. There is just enough truth in the small facts that you believe it is truth, and you never see the takeover coming. Why? Because it looks like you, and it sounds like you, and it thinks like you, and it talks like you, and it knows your story. And if you do not know any better, eventually you will think your chemically crazed doppelganger actually is you. But it's not, because this place is built on nothing more than lies with fragments of truth. Think of it this way. If I was your doppelganger and I was taking over your thoughts with facts from my life, you would know that I was feeding you a line of bullshit, and that would make the takeover a hard sell. But if I was feeding you small facts about your life and distorting them with self-hate and shame that you've already explored in dense depression, then the takeover would happen naturally. It's like a piece of rotten fruit. Have you ever bought that box of Christmas oranges and you picked one up only to discover that the box has been taken over by mold and now it's spoiled? Didn't see that coming either. But the fact remains that it did happen, and underneath it all, the rot was spreading. It makes sense to throw the spoiled fruit away, but the same method should not be applied to ourselves. We are not ruined beyond repair. We are not so broken that we can't be fixed. Those are lies. And when you have been here long enough, they are very convincing lies. That's what makes this place so dangerous. When you understand the game that depression is playing, its game with your life, playing by its distorted rules to manipulate, sabotage, and reconstruct your thinking, you begin to see depression's role in all of this. And I believe if you can see it, understand the game it's playing, understand that it is depression causing the distorted thinking, then you are more likely to get the help you need. This happens to all of us. So you need to understand that you are not alone. When it comes to depression and its way of thinking, it doesn't care what your story is, as long as it can manipulate it. We're all different. But to depression, we are not unique or special in any way. Depression isn't attacking you because you are you. Depression is attacking you because that's what depression does. You're not alone. We are dropping off the earth at rapid speeds by our own hands because we think the way we are thinking is valid, and nothing can be further from the truth. You know that peaceful moment that is talked about just before someone commits suicide? That is the moment when distorted thinking has choked out all reason. Depression has distorted the truth to lies and facts to fiction. Your life is no longer your own. It has been taken over. If you have depression, then you are being manipulated. But you're not the only one. So understand that you are not alone. This is a shout out. Kids, adults, women, men, girls, boys. If you are wanting to end your life, then your thoughts are being influenced negatively. Get help. Reach out. This isn't about strength versus weakness or vulnerability. It's about poison of depression. You are not alone. My depression messes with me the same way as it messes with you. Just the ammunition is different. I'm telling you, you are wanted, you are loved, and life can be better, and it will get better. But don't try to do it alone. Understand that when you are in deep, surrounded by dark thoughts, you cannot shine light into the darkness if your batteries are dying, or even worse, if they're already dead. The light is something that others will bring. But if you do not tell someone that you're in a dark place, then no one can shine the light that can lead you out of there. Understand that depression is the master of deception, distraction, and it encourages silence by way of shame. Number 4, I see depression like a poison. If you were poisoned by a snake bite or a little tick, we get treatment. No shame, no silence. We will get as many treatments as needed, even different treatments from different places, from different professionals, from different countries. Hell, bring on the treatment. Until something works to neutralize the toxins that are running unhindered within, because they are screwing up my quality of life. Even the people around me are being affected. No shame in getting help. Yet, the chemical poison of depression and the imbalances that are hidden in our mind, we shame ourselves into silence. We think it'll pass, or maybe we just hope it will. We don't want others to see us in our perceived weaknesses. We listen to others speak into our lives and shame us. We don't understand how depression works. Or a big one, we think that getting help is about exposing our souls, our secrets, our shames, our fears. Depression has exposed all of those things, which is why you feel so raw. But getting help doesn't mean that you're laid up on an examining table, naked and bleeding while someone is poking in your wounds. I am telling you that the first course of treatment is getting you out of the darkness as soon as possible. For me, that's always been medication first, to diffuse the darkness, and then I use therapy to dissolve the confusion and the shame. But psychotherapy comes after you're safe. And it's a choice that you can make then, be it a good choice, but an additional choice nonetheless. Antidepressants for someone who's dealing with depression, or antipsychotics for someone who's dealing with bipolar, can only help you so much if you've had a terrible life. Now remember, I talked about dense depression being a place that haunts you with your life. Well, therapy has been a way that I have dissolved a lot of the control that dense depression has over me when I am there, being tormented and haunted by my life. I know that I've dealt with a lot of things that this place brings to life. Now, it doesn't take away the sorrow that dense depression brings while I'm there, but it does take away the shame, and it gives me some control. And when I get out of that place, I leave the bullshit it was feeding me there. I've already worked through the things in my life that haunt me. Meaning, I don't have to work through it again and again. This is the beauty of psychotherapy. When you have been in dense depression in the vortex, you come out exhausted by your life, exposed, raw, confused, with distorted thoughts about yourself and others. Nobody wants to jump into therapy and work on things that you have just been tortured with. Nobody. But if you're prone to dense depression and the vortex, then understand each time you venture there, you are coming out with another layer of distorted thinking. The longer you avoid the things that haunt you, the more mixed up things get. I challenge you to think of therapy this way. These aren't my words, but it's a quote that I've heard. Don't think of therapy as going after your whole character. It works with pieces to enhance your character, to make your character stronger and better suited for this world, which means life skills, tools, and processes that work.